Good evening and welcome to the final round of V8 Online's live broadcast of the Australia-New Zealand Grand Am Championship, brought to you by Direct Clutch Services, Extreme Sim Gear, V8 Supercar Fan Group and V8 Online Superstore. I'm Matthew Hill, your host for tonight's race, and joining me is Madison Down.
G'day guys, it's always great to be in the comms box here at V8 Online, and looks pretty close tonight, especially in DP class up the front, so yeah, should be a pretty good race.
Well, we are at one of the best tracks, a lot of drivers' favourite tonight, being the final round at Road Atlanta. 50 minutes tonight as well, so we shouldn't see any pit stops, so it should be a flat-out sprint to the checkered flag. Good race. It should be good fun. And it's the first time we've come to Road Atlanta. I believe there's been some licensing issues in the past, but it's good to see that all sorted now, and we're back at a driver's favourite.
Yeah, Road Atlanta is always a great track. It's pretty fast and flowing in some places, and then you know you've got a very long back straight where you can make a move into a fairly tight chicane at the end of the lap. So it's a real good track. It's a real driver favourite, and really suits these Riley prototypes and the McLaren GT3s.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the pictures coming through now, so you get to enjoy the guys doing their warm-up. Waiting for my little screen to load up now, but Madison, I believe the times are quite quick today, and we've actually got a newcomer. Well, when I say newcomer to the series, we've got a high-profile driver. You may know him, starting in the McLarens.
Is not. I was thinking as well in prototype class got Dylan Sharman, but who's in the McLaren?
No, sorry, I was thinking of the wrong class there. I do apologise.
We've got as you said, we do have a pretty high-profile driver, Dylan Sharman. You know, two-time champion in the Cadillac, I think maybe three-time, I'm not sure. He's definitely won countless championships in that car and had a lot of success in the McLaren as well, but he's actually driving in the Riley prototype tonight and a little bit out of his comfort zone, but he's managed to put the prototype on pole position, so that's a great effort and it really shows Dylan Sharman's skill.
That's right. Well, we've got the grid up on screen now, and geez, it looks like Dylan's got a 0.4 of a second gap, which is quite large in these prototype cars. So, mate, I'll go through the prototypes as per usual. If you can do the McLarens, it would be great. We've got Dylan Sharma sitting on pole position, 1 minute 13.120. Then John Emerson in second place, starting right beside him on a 1:13.5. Then we've got the usual suspects following. We've got Christopher Osborne, Anthony Kernich, Rob Hartley, Mitch Abrahall in 6th. We've got Matthew Barons, good to see him back in position 7. Fabio Gonzalez, Steve Anus and Jason Scully.
In McLaren GT3 class, we've got Craig Hunter starting off pole position. He's got a 4/10 gap back to second place. Christian Aylward, Tony Ortridge is 3rd, Corey Osborne 4th, Nathan Groudon 5th, Brian Godsall 6th, Andrew Wren 7th, Leo Gray 8th, Tom Barrington 9th, Paul Mansell rounding out the field. And yeah, it's pretty close in McLaren class from about 2nd to 5th place, so it should be a really good race.
Well, we definitely haven't been disappointed in the last few rounds. I know Barber was an excellent race, and we can definitely hope for the same here.
Yeah, certainly it was. We saw Kimmo Suominen and Rens Brookman at Barber fighting it out, you know, all race. We're actually missing both of those guys tonight, but there's, you know, plenty of other quality drivers in the field, so it still should be a fantastic night of racing.
I say stay tuned. So warm-up looks like it's just finished. We had 5 minutes of warm-up, and we should be starting to grid up behind the pace car. One thing you will notice as well is that the live timing will actually start as soon as the cars start to appear on the grid. Timing on the screen there doesn't actually reflect the race start. It's going to be a little bit out. We'll keep you up to date with the actual race timing. It will be approximately the time that the pace car takes to do a lap of the circuit. So maybe 3 or 4 minutes, but we'll keep you posted with the time as we progress through the race. See the cars joining now. And the good thing about such a unique series like the Grand Ams is the multi-class series. So we've got 2 races in one. where we've got the prototypes obviously batting for their class win and also the outright win, and the McLarens in their own race as well. So we should have a really good couple of races tonight.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, Dylan Sharman, I had a quick talk to him tonight, and although he is on pole position by around about 4/10 of a second, he was saying that Christopher Osborne out of third place has probably got a slightly better race car than the TTL guys in the front row. So although it may look like clean sailing for Sharman up the front, he doesn't believe that's going to be the case, and I kind of hope that's not the case either. I hope there's a really good battle for the lead there.
Well, you've got the two TTL cars really locking out that front row, so it'd be good to see Osborne and Kernich really start to pressure those TTL drivers. We'll start to see as they go around now on their warm-up lap. We'll get to see the McLarens maybe just leave a bit of a gap between themselves and the Daytona prototypes. This saves any carnage because there's such different, such dramatic differences in performance between the two cars. So you'll notice that the McLarens are excellent on the brakes, carbon fibre with ABS system, and you'll notice that the prototypes have such a huge straight line advantage, and also with such a high downforce car as well. They are so fast through the mid corners as well, and obviously on the exits.
Yeah, the main difference between the two cars is weight. The prototypes weigh, way less than the McLaren GT3s. The horsepower isn't actually that different, but yeah, that weight of the prototype makes all the difference in the world, and you can see that in the mid-corner speed of these. As you mentioned, the prototypes are a good 20 k's faster through a lot of the corners, maybe even more, so it's a massive difference.
That's right, and being such a tight, twisty circuit, I mean, it is quite a narrow circuit, Road Atlanta, so we really need some cooperation between the two different classes to maybe prevent any accidents and to keep those gaps as close as they can without sort of sacrificing too much time. But as we've seen in the last few rounds, anything can happen in these races, so even if one guy does get out to a 3 or 4 second lead, that can be chewed up very quickly when they get caught behind a slower group of cars or get involved with the faster cars coming past. So, and every time we have seen that happen so far. So hopefully tonight it'll be a nice clean sailing, won't see any incidents between the two different classes, and it'll be nice and close to the finish.
Yeah, hopefully as they round up through the last chicane here, coming to the green.
Waiting for that pace car to come in. TTL cars blocking out that front row. Yep, Sharman wastes no time, straight underway. Leads them onto the main straight. And we've got Rob Hartley looking up the inside of Kernich into turn 1. Hartley gets the move done. So nice clean start for those boys. Oh, looks like Kernich lost the place to Abrahall as well.
Back to McLaren class, and they've also had a nice clean run through turn 1. Christian Aylward side by side with Tony Autridge. Very, very close there, but there wasn't any contact. Nice clean start for the McLaren class as well.
Yeah, I just saw the guys coming across the top of the hill there through that tight, twisty section. The Matthew Barron and one of the other guys, I don't know who it was, I think it was Kernich, was side by side going through the top there. Very hairy moment.
John Emerson just had a massive moment through one of those previous corners just there, and Chris Osborne is filling up his mirrors. Dylan Sharman's away to an early break. He's probably got around about a second over his teammate, so he's doesn't have too much pressure, but John Emerson on this back straight has got Chris Osborne in the draft. He's going to be under pressure into this chicane.
With such
Osborne
a long race,
out of the
50
draft.
minutes. Oh, John, excellent under brakes. See if he can
He's
hold
run
it.
wide though. Oh, Chris Osborne's taking it. John Emerson side out, broke himself. Rob Hartley, nowhere to go on the exit. Narrowly misses contact.
Yeah, Rob Hartley had an excellent drive off that last chicane. Unfortunately, he did have nowhere to go and is now all over the exhaust pipes of John Emerson.
Well, we spoke about this before, that the TTL cars might not quite have the race pace, and so far John Emerson's just struggled a little bit there on the opening lap, and Chris Osborne is setting chase after Dylan Sharman.
It's good to see Chris Osborne, definitely a regular in this series, taking it to the front guys, which is excellent to see.
Tony Autridge and Christian Aylward battling for second and third. Tony Autridge actually got the jump on Aylward on the opening lap, so we'll see if Autridge can slightly close up onto the back of Craig Hunter. I know he's fairly new into the McLaren, and he hasn't had a lot of track time, so good to see he's adapting to the car fairly well.
Yeah, Autridge, a regular runner in the V8 Supercar on Monday nights. Good to see him giving the McLarens a crack. And Christian and Allwood, a regular in the McLaren. We've seen him at every race so far. Hopefully he's starting to get a handle on how to set these cars up for the race and can keep with Tony Autridge and Craig Hunter.
Yeah, it looks that way. Just looking back up the front at prototypes, Mitchell Abrahall has closed the margin to Rob Hartley. Hartley has lost a little bit of ground to John Emerson, so maybe John Emerson's cars just began to normalise and the pressures have settled down a little bit and he starts to get his rhythm together.
Yeah, it's a big thing with these cars because they're such a high mechanical grip and also a high aerodynamic grip. It's very much important to hit your apexes correctly so you can carry the most speed through. So having a rhythm is very, very important to get these cars around the circuit as fast as you can.
Chris Osborne's having a few internet dramas up there in position 2. He hasn't lost too much time as a result of that, but massive slide as I say. But yeah, that's certainly not going to be helping his cause.
Go on board now with Mitch Abrahall, who was all over the back of Rob Hartley in that Powerbond Daytona prototype Riley.
We're really going to see the effect of the draft here after this little crest at the end of this straight. He should begin to close in on him quite a bit. Doesn't look like he has quite as much as I thought it. Of course, these prototypes rely on aerodynamics greatly, so it very much depends on how you've got the car set up.
And it looks like that Abrahall's got Koenig all over the back of him, so a handy little 3-car battle. And Barron joining on to make that a 4-car train. Wow, this is a great start to the race. Oh no, it looks like we may have a problem with Autridge. Losing connection.
He's just lost the back off a curb and through the uphill left-hander about halfway through the track he's just got a little bit too aggressively over the curb and he actually ended up in the fence with big damage. So I'd say that's going to be race over for Tony Autridge. That car, yeah, it's basically finished. It's missing a rear wing, missing an engine cover, missing everything. So bad luck for Autridge. We just talked about how good he was going in the opening laps there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tony, you've unfortunately come to the peril of the commentator's curse there, so we do apologise.
Yeah, he's my teammate too, so he's going to be hating me for that.
Oh, you'll have a bit to answer for when you get back, eh? Go on board with Sharman. Leading the race quite comfortably at the moment, a 1.4 second lead, but one thing which you did say at the beginning of the broadcast is we didn't expect him maybe to gallop out to a huge lead, and looks like Christopher Osborne is keeping with him.
Yeah, he's going with him. The gap's only 1.9 seconds now over the last time they crossed the stripe, but yeah, Dylan Sharman was kind of downplaying his race performance, but he seems like he's going fairly well, to be honest. So, although he did say that they're running a little bit higher downforce than Chris Osborne, so if Chris Osborne can get a sniff at the draft, he might be in for a move. So, Sharman does need to build this early gap.
Look now at Corey Osborne, doing a great job in the McLaren as per usual, taking 3rd place after that little incident. So, unfortunately, Tony's mishap is Corey's gain. Oh, he's
actually binned it.
Oh.
Luckily, that is only a tyre wall. Hopefully, that hasn't done too much damage to the car. Hopefully, he doesn't have any steering damage. That's going to be his main concern there. He's just watching that back on the replay, and he's got a little bit too much over that curb, and it's just unsettled him, put him straight into that tyre wall.
Yeah, as we go on board with him now, as we look at the replay, he gets a little bit loose over the top of the crest, as you said, Madison, and unfortunately pays the price, but hopefully he doesn't lose his pace. He's got Leo Gray all over the back of him.
Yeah, I'm just having a look around his car at the moment, and it doesn't look like there's too much body damage on it. The real question is, has he done any toe angle damage or camber damage or steering damage or anything along those lines? That will really affect him all race if he has.
Yeah, sometimes if you only just give the wheel a bit of a nudge, it can only throw it out, you know, just a little bit, not too much to notice, but it can dramatically decrease the life of your tyres over such a long run, over 50 minutes. So it'd be interesting to see if you can keep the pace going in that McLaren.
He's got Leo Gray and Andrew Wren behind him to worry about at the moment, and I suppose we'll see how much damage he's got depending on how much trouble they give him. But yeah, you know, we talk in terms of millimetres with setting up all four corners of these cars, and you know, a millimetre here and there after a wall hit like that makes a massive difference.
Yeah, that's right. And one thing we didn't notice when they crossed the stripe this time is Christopher Osborne pulled back 0.4 of a second on that last lap. Oh, as I say that, sorry, my timing just updates. Dylan Sharma actually pulls out a fair chunk of time on that last lap around. Yeah, now the race has sort of settled into a bit of a groove. Now we'll run through the running order at the moment, and it's good to see Dylan Sharma out taking the lead in the prototypes. We've got Christopher Osborne taking second, John Emerson in third place, Rob Hartley in fourth. Matthew Barron has moved a couple of grid spots up there. He's actually started whereabouts in seventh, and he's moved right up to fifth place. So well done on the young Matthew Barron there. Anthony Kernich in sixth. Mitch Aberhall in 7th, Steve Raynos in 8th, Fabio Gonzalez in 9th plate, and Jason Scully rounding out the top 10 in the prototypes.
In the McLaren class, we've got Craig Hunter continuing to lead over Christian Elwood, Tom Berenson in 3rd, Corey Osborne 4th, we just saw him have a moment before, Leo Gray 5th, Andrew Wren 6th, Brian Godsall 7th, Nathan Grouden 8th, Paul Mansell 9th, and Tony Ortridge we saw put it into the concrete earlier in the race, and he's now out of the running, unfortunately.
Oh, Mansell's around. I noticed he just come out of the pits as you were running through the positions there, Madison. But it looks like he's sustained a bit of damage on the right hand side of the car, and it looks like the pit crew didn't manage to fix it enough, and he's gone around across the top of the hill.
He certainly has. It looked like that was as a result of earlier damage, as he said, and luckily he didn't hit anything again. Just looking back up the front at the Riley prototype class, and once again Dylan Sharman extended his lead. He's actually very consistently doing mid 114s, and that's, you know, 4 or 5 tenths quicker than Chris Osborne behind him every single lap. So Sharman's definitely starting to do it easy out in front.
Yeah, I'm just watching him drive through the circuits now, and mate, he's making it look really easy. I mean, these things are not easy to drive at all, and he's definitely making showing the rest of the crew how it's done.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's actually the #1 ranked iRacing driver in Australia, according to his license. So, you know, he's definitely a very talented steerer. And, yeah, as we head on board with Dylan Sharman now for a lap, you'll really see how smooth he drives. We'll let you watch.
There we go, boys. A lap. There we go, watchers. We got a lap on board with Dylan Sharma. Extremely smooth. Definitely knows how to drive these cars around the circuit. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. We later in the race we'll probably get to go on board with the McLarens, one of the McLaren drivers. So you get to see the speed comparison and the different types of driver requirements needed to steer these cars.
Sorry, Hilly. Matthew Barron just put a move on Rob Hartley there. That was very, very close coming over that crest. We've seen it go wrong there in the past. Rob Hartley back all over the back of Matthew Barron. He's got very sideways. Kernich now down the inside of Rob Hartley. He's going to get the move done as well by the looks of it.
Yeah, Hartley gives him plenty of space. Very polite driving and gets to hold his position, but a very brave move from Barron over the top of the hill. Absolutely scary place to do that.
Yeah, it's not usually a passing place up there, but Matthew Barron made that happen and really chucked it into a place where Rob Hartley could have closed the door on him, but chose not to. And yeah, Matthew Barron now up a spot. Rob Hartley continues to fall backwards just a little bit. He's got Kernich in his mirrors. Kernich actually nearly got round him, as we saw, so Rob Hartley's got to get his eyes forward here and get back into a rhythm.
That's right. Anthony Kernich will smell and see Rob Hartley's adrenaline pumping through that car, so he'll be looking to take advantage while Hartley's still trying to get his rhythm back. So hopefully these guys can keep at it for the next little bit and give us some really good viewing. Oh,
that was very cool.
All over the back of him. Wow.
Very, very close to contact. We do know in the Monday Night V8 series a bit of battle of Matthew Barron up the road. It's at a massive moment. Rob Hartley is actually going to close that gap all the way back down now. Matthew Barron was so close to putting that car in the wall just then. What I was going to make mention of is in these prototypes you can't really make any nose to tail or panel contact because you simply just break the car, as Matthew Barron tries to break the draft from Rob Hartley here. This is very quickly turned into three-way fight and maybe even a four-way fight shortly.
Well, that's right. Well, these cars are all carbon fibre, so they don't handle the contact very well. Oh, look at these guys. There's four-car trainers. They pull up on the back of Andrew Rand, a regular in the McLaren, so not a good place to come over the top. Looks... Andrew, very respectful, gives him plenty of room. Oh, Abril got a great run.
Abril's going to get a run.
Oh, wow. Incredible driving.
There's an opportunistic move by Mitch Abril. That was fantastic. He's got a massive run.
Rubbing his hands together. He's
going to go off.
Across the top. It's going to take a very alternate line through there. Yeah, that'll give him a slowdown penalty, unfortunately. Oh, Barron,
up the road though.
Back of the McLaren. Hartley looking to take advantage of this as they move onto the little short straight. Yeah.
Mitchell Abrahall now slowing down to give up the time he gained after that little excursion through a different track config, and yeah, falls back into the back of that train there. The lap McLaren certainly spiced it up then. Everyone was very polite to each other, but certainly created some opportunities in prototype class.
Oh, that's right. At the beginning of the broadcast, we said anything can happen, and it's certainly proving that way right now.
Rob Hartley, sorry, just a little bit closer thanks to those lapped cars there behind Matthew Barron. We saw Matthew Barron put a move on him about 2 or 3 laps ago, so it's interesting to see if Rob Hartley's actually got the pace. Now he's back in a rhythm.
Yeah, it looks like Barron's got a lot of speed in that prototype. Really hoping maybe he can catch Emerson. I mean, Emerson's only, what, 3 and a bit seconds up the road. Oh, Hartley over the top, has gone straight over the curb. He's going to have to slow down and let Kernich through, and Abrahall gets the move done as well now as we look on the replay. So a bit of a gap now between these guys.
So what I was going to say, he's done the same thing as Mitch Abrahall did last lap. These Riley prototypes tend to run a lot of rearward brake bias, so you wind the bias all the way back towards the rear to trail brake in the corners and keep the momentum up a little bit more. And it looks like he's just locked the brakes coming over that crest. It's a very, very easy mistake to make, and we saw Abrahall do it as well. So I think that's what's happened there.
Speaking of Abrahall, he's right in the slipstream now of Kernich and looking to make a move down into the chicane. He's definitely got the speed on him. See if Kernich outbrakes him. Yeah, see if he can hold it in nice and tight. Oh, got a bit loose there. Abrahall will definitely gain the advantage and hopefully get this move done at turn 1.
One thing I really noticed when we rode on board with Dylan Sharman about 5 laps ago is that coming into that chicane, how late they brake in those prototypes. I couldn't believe it. It looks like about 100 metres before the corner as Koenig runs wide at turn 1. Abrahall gets the move done.
Oh, he's Hartley now. He can smell the blood in the water from Koenig. Looks like he's, fallen back into line there. Now it's the 3-car train again as Barron disappears in the distance.
Oh, Hartley, with a massive moment. He's nearly gone around.
Oh.
See how violent these prototypes react off these curbs. He just hit the curb a little bit too hard and the thing stepped right out on him on turn-in. Very, very lucky.
2 massive moments for Hartley, and now he's got Steve Vanos all over the back of him. And Fabio Gonzalez is not that far behind him either, so this could very easily turn into a 5-car train. Is Koenig having a look now on Mitch Abrahall?
Yeah, there's 2 battle packs here. We got Koenig looking at Abrahall and Steve Vanos looking at Robert Hartley. And we see the draft working on that long back straight there, but neither of the following drivers are close enough to get the move done.
That's right, the draft on these long straights is so important. Look back. Very Craig Hunter doing a fantastic job. As per usual, leading the McLaren class.
Christian Aylward keeping him honest in the ANZ Motorsport McLaren though as well. He's only about 2-3 seconds off the class lead, so Craig Hunter doesn't have it all his own way there, but he's doing a fantastic job in the lead at the moment.
That's right. These McLarens are just as tricky. I did mention in the beginning of the broadcast, they run an ABS system, but you can set that up to however you tailor. But I tell you, if you activate that ABS system, basically stops the wheel from locking up. You do in effect lose all your braking power as the car automatically releases the pressure on the brakes. So you tend to go straight on the corner. So very tricky car to drive, and these guys are definitely doing a great job of it.
It is actually, quite hard. Once you've driven the McLaren for a while, you get used to having the ABS there, and Dylan Sharman, being a consistent McLaren driver, would probably have been very used to that ABS system, being able to stamp the brake pedal and not ever lock it up. However, in the prototype, you have to modulate the brake pedal. There is no ABS system, so Dylan Sharman would have had to accustom himself to the change there. But as you said in the McLaren, if you actually trigger the ABS, it almost feels like you've got no brakes. You're pushing harder and harder on the brake pedal, which just only triggers the ABS more and more and more, and it feels like you're never going to stop the thing. So it's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, not a fun thing to activate when you're following something quite closely in a battle.
Yeah, certainly very, very easy when you're following a car to just drill the back of them under brakes, because you've got less aerodynamics when following cars, so it tends to trigger the ABS a lot earlier when you're following. So yeah, very, very easy to have nose-to-tail contact.
Head back into the Daytona prototypes. It looks like Steve Vanos and Fabio Gonzalez now separated by half a second around. As Dylan Sharman crosses the line now, goes on to about 20 minutes in the race. So Madison already 20 minutes in this race, and it feels like it only just started. So some great battles so far in this 20 minutes.
Yeah, it certainly has been. And Dylan Sharman on that last lap by actually did a purple lap, which means fastest lap of the race. He did a 1:14.4, which was 3/10 quicker than Osborne last time around, and it is showing that he continues to push pretty hard. But this car's a little bit different to, say, the V8 Supercar, as we've said in previous broadcasts. As the fuel load comes off, the car actually gets faster. It's more sensitive to the weight over the tyre wear. So you'll see these guys possibly down into the 1:13 range, which is where they basically qualified by the end of the race.
That's great. That's a great insight, Madison. The time model on these cars is so good that the grip just seems to be there forever. Looks like we've had a bit of a moment there with one of the drivers. Just trying to find it on my screen now. Well, yeah, Matthew Barron's caught right up the back, and Koenig as well. Emerson looks like he's got huge damage on the back of his McLaren. And Koenig move up the inside. Massive damage. I wonder what happened to Emerson.
Emerson, through the uphill left-hander. We've seen a few. We saw Tony Autridge hit the wall there. He just bounced it off the curb, hit one of the bumps the wrong way coming off the curb, and he's ended up in the fence. And it's just done massive rear-end damage to that car. So that's going to be pretty much over and out for John Emerson. That'll be massive suspension damage.
That's right, and look who's taken third place. Our seventh position on the grid has moved into third place. So showing that anything can happen in these races, and a great turn of speed and a lot of effort from Matthew Barron to work on the car setup. So really
he's done a great job.
Pace now in race, yeah, for sure.
Didn't quite do a good enough job in qualifying. He was a little bit far back compared to what he probably would have wanted, but he's up there into the final podium position and done a great job. He's put a lot of pretty committed passing moves on too. He hasn't just had that gifted to him, so that's a great drive from Matthew Barron so far.
One thing we'll touch on quite quickly while we're got a bit of a gap between a few of the cars is the Monday Night V8 Series, Madison. Last round at Suzuka on next Monday night. Looking forward to that one. I notice you've done a little bit of practice already, put a couple of times in, so how do you find the track so far?
Yeah, it's a little bit different to previous. We've got a new chicane, and also we're running a different chicane to what we have previously as well, so a little bit different to set the car up for those. Pretty much the same to drive, but yeah, look, it's pretty important this week for me from where I sit. Going in there with all the pressure, leading the championship. Got Justin, who did a very good job last week at Lime Rock Park, and I did a bit of an average job. So this week I've already put in a few practice laps, put in a few early times, just trying to get the car more set up to my preference. And yeah, we'll see what happens on Monday night. There's 2, maybe 3 guys in contention for a championship, so should be great.
That's right, and a little bit of special treat for you guys as well that tune in on Monday nights and watch the V8s have their run, their moment in the sun. Is we got a bit of a pre-race show. We'll start from 7:20 p.m. So tune in 10 minutes earlier, and there's a little bit of a something there for you guys that have watched the series through. So you'll get to in for a little bit of a treat. So yeah, make sure you tune in early. Looks like we've got a nice little battle now for the 5th, 6th and 7th in the overall position. So obviously in the Daytona prototypes we've got Hartley leading that pack of the 3 cars as they head through the bottom S's there. There's 3, 4, 5.
Just looks like Vanus is starting to close that margin to Rob Hartley a little bit. And Gonzalez is just tagging along there in the draft, and you know, you'll see on this back straight how much of a gain these guys get sitting as close as they are. So Steve Vanus is fairly close coming on the back straight. He should get a nice draft gain down this straight, depending on how he's got his downforce set up, of course.
Be interesting to see as we go on board now with Vanus. This will give you a great idea and a really good insight on how much the draft does mean to these cars. Easy. Oh, big effort under brakes from Steve. We know he's excellent under brakes. We've seen that in previous rounds, so really showing his gift there, really.
Gonzalez actually closed a little bit of margin in the chicane as well behind Steve Vanus while we're on board with him. And I was actually looking at the speed difference between Hartley and Vanus, and it looked like around about 10 kilometres an hour difference. So these prototypes punch a massive hole in the air with that huge rear wing they've got. So a bit different to the V8. It doesn't punch that big of a hole in the air compared to these. These prototypes literally throw the air vertical when it goes over the rear wing. So massive, massive gain in the draft.
That's right. The name of the game is if you can sit in someone's, sit as close as you can to someone's behind. Obviously, you have less drag through the air, and it propels your car forward and hopefully fast enough to make a move after a decent straight, as it looks like Gonzalez is close enough.
Yeah, it's Gonzalez with the run this time by it. Vanus was on the attack last lap on Rob Hartley, but that gap's opened up a little bit. Gonzalez looks to be a little bit closer. We look now, we go on board with
Craig Hunter leading the McLarens, doing a great job as he always does.
He's got Jason Scully coming up in his mirrors just at the moment from prototype class, so you'll see him zoom past any second. There he goes.
I tell you what though, Christian Elwood, he's doing a great job on that McLaren. Actually seems to be keeping with Craig Hunter. That gap is maintaining.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It hasn't really changed since we spoke about it a few laps ago. So Christian Aylward's doing a great job there in position 2, keeping Craig Hunter up in the lead honest. However, Craig Hunter last time by was a quite substantial amount faster than Christian Aylward. So
I
doing what he needs to do.
I think he dropped about a second there on that lap, and I'm pretty sure it may have been with the faster prototype, just giving him a bit of room. So hopefully Christian can catch him. Christian can catch back up to the back of Craig Allwood. Like we've got.
Matthew Barron extremely close to an accident just then. The regening Nathan Groudon in the McLaren, and Matthew Barron just nearly drilled him. That was so close.
Oh, geez, Barron was very lucky to get away with. Very good avoidance driving for sure.
Wow, that was extremely close.
And now Mitch Abrahall can see him. So, and Barron loose again at the top of the hill, takes a bit of the extra grass. Wow, exciting moment there for young Matthew Barron. He's hard to be racing now.
So here we've got John Emerson with us in the commentary box. Unlucky John, just slightly overstepped the mark up through that fast left-hander there by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think that's what they call running out of talent. Pretty much. Yeah, just had an absolute... I don't know why I was so nervous tonight. I just don't know what it was, but yeah. Got a good start and then nearly binned it first lap, and Chris got past and couldn't stay with him, and then it was just all over the shop. So yeah, I got the same setup as Dylan and he's killing it. So yeah.
I was going to say, in the opening lap, it looked like you were just a little bit out of rhythm there and just didn't quite look completely comfortable in the car. Chris Osborne got you fairly early, and it looked like you were just losing a little bit of time there, especially in the first 5 laps. Was that all it was? Because yeah, as you said, Dylan Sharman's doing a great job out in front at the moment.
Yeah, Dylan and I had a chat before because we'd been watching Osborne through the week and knew that he had great straight line speed down the back. So we're hoping we could get a jump on him on the first lap so he couldn't use the slipstream, and sure enough, as soon as we got onto the back straight, he absolutely smashed me. So yeah, so that's just sort of threw my plan out of the window. It's going to plan for Sharman at the moment, but yeah, not for me. Not good at all.
Well, John, have you enjoyed the series so far, and will you be back next series?
Yeah, I definitely love this car, and for some reason it hates me, but I absolutely love driving it. So I'll definitely be back next season. It's been a blast this season. Some really good drivers in here: Matty Barron, Mitch Abrahall, Chris Osborne, Rob Hartley. They're all pretty competitive fellas, so yeah, really enjoying the racing here. It's great.
That's right. Well, we do see almost weekly we see the talent pooling increase in the top split, if you will, of the Grand Am. So it'd be great to have you back next year, John, and hopefully showing everybody how to drive this car.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back next season. I don't know about next year; it's quite a way off yet.
Of course.
But yeah, definitely next season will be awesome.
Excellent, John. Well, thanks for popping into the commentary box and sharing what happened, unfortunately, to you tonight. We do wish you all the best, though, for the next season.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers, guys. Have a good call.
Like we got a nice little battle in the McLarens. Starting now between Andrew Wren and Nathan Groudon.
Andrew Wren slightly overdoes it over that crest there. Slightly outbroke himself and had a bit of a moment there in the mid-corner.
Andrew Wren improving every week.
Yeah, it's good to see Andrew Wren racing. He quite often watches the Monday Night V8s and doesn't actually have a run himself. It's nice to see him having a steer in the McLaren. We've seen him racing quite a bit throughout this season, so it's great to see. Yeah, it sounded like a full season of semi-automatic gearboxes, so that was a bit weird.
Yeah, maybe he selected a gear that was a bit high and lost a bit of momentum on the straight, and It doesn't look like he lost too much time to go out, maybe a couple of tenths. Andrew Wren looked like he's got some half-decent pace on board with that McLaren.
Yeah, it certainly does. I know with these semi-automatic McLaren gearboxes, sometimes if you try and engage your gear with wheel spin, they actually don't select the next gear. They actually just engage neutral, and you sit there with a box of neutrals for a little bit. So maybe that's what happened to Andrew Wren. I know I've had that happen to me a few times. So yeah, it's a bit weird because they're supposed to do all the gear changing for you, basically. You don't have to worry about a clutch or anything like that. So yeah, it's a bit annoying when that happens.
Well, it looks like Nathan Ground is actually starting to catch Leo Gray. And by quite a margin.
We've also got Corey Osborne and Tom Berenson starting to get a little bit closer together. Corey Osborne's in the draft at the moment on the back straight and getting quite a massive gain.
Well, these guys are battling for third in class. So final position on the podium at this stage. Last time by, Dylan stopped the clock at 32 minutes 24 seconds, so well over halfway now through this race.
It's a very fast lap. Dylan Sharman last time by as well. He did a 1:14.5, which is only a tiny bit off his quickest. Actually, I think Dylan Sharman might have gone a little bit quicker now. We spoke about possibly being in the 1:13s, and it looks like he's actually... Has he done a one? No, he hasn't done a 1:13 yet. So there you go. 14.5 is actually only 1/10 off the fastest lap of the race. So he's got that gap out to 10.7 seconds over Christopher Osborne.
Yeah, it looked like Christopher Osborne last time round only did a 1:16, so 1.5 seconds slower. So I dare say quite a large mistake there on that lap for Osborne.
Yeah, I've been watching, we went on board with Dylan Sharman earlier and had a look at how he was driving the car, and he's driving it very, very smoothly. I've been watching Christopher Osborne on and off, and although he is driving it quite well, he's just probably sliding it around a little bit too much, just over-driving it slightly. And I just think he's just burnt the tyres off it just a little bit, and Dylan Sharman's managed to keep his on it. I know whenever I've raced Dylan Sharman, he's very nice on his tyres, and he's very, very fast in race trim. So, yeah, Dylan's lapping quite a bit quicker at the moment. There's another 1 second quicker last time by.
Yes, yeah, it looks like there's a very fine line in these cars between being aggressive and overcommitted. And it looks like Osborne maybe just pushing a bit too hard on his car, and yeah, as you said, Madison looks like he may be suffering a little bit tyre-wise.
Although, of course, we did see John Emerson in the same car as Dylan just make a slight mistake over a bump. So whether Dylan Sharman needs to be pushing on this hard at this point in the race is another question. Of course, everyone wants to win by a big margin, but it's interesting to see that he's still doing such quick lap times.
It looks like the battle for third, though, not yet done. Looks like Abrahall is just pulling back in Barron last time by. Oh, actually by quite a large margin last time by. Osborne did a 15.4 and Barron a 16.1, so maybe a bit of a mistake there from Barron on the last lap.
Yeah, but that's pretty quick lap time from Mitch Abrahall. That would have been the second fastest car on the track last by, so he's certainly got pace.
It's interesting what the gap will be this time by. It was 1.6 last time by, and this time exactly the same.
It's actually
2 seconds.
Matthew Barron actually responded on the last lap and did a 1:15.4 compared to Mitch Abrahall's 1:15.8. So you said that it might have been a mistake for Barron, and it looks that way. He certainly responded, and it's funny, these cars look like they go in and out of phases, because back up the front of the field, Dylan Sharman 1:14.6. Chris Osborne just went 1.3 seconds faster last time than his previous lap. So looks like the cars are a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah, very frustrating drive if that's the case. I mean, you need to be able to feel the car underneath you and respect the grip that you have. And if you slightly overdrive the car, I mean, we saw with Osborne, you can quite easily lose 1 to 1.5 seconds per lap. Like we got Brian Goodsell in the pits. Oh, and Jason Scully in the wall. Going up the hill after turn 1. Trying to find
That's,
it now on replay.
I was just watching Brian Godsall's replay from, it's quite a while ago actually. He actually lost that in the middle of the back straight and went off into the concrete wall, so I'm not quite sure what happened to Brian Godsall. It's like maybe a mechanical issue or something.
Looks like we've got the replay on screen now of what happened to Scully. It looks like Browden got a little bit loose in front of him and unfortunately Scully paid the price trying to avoid him and ended up with massive damage in the rear half of that prototype. I dare say that might be raced over for Jason Scully.
Mitch Abrahall did a very good lap last time around. He did a 1:14.7, closed up 4/10 more on Matthew Barron. So Mitch Abrahall's second quickest prototype on track at the moment. Certainly got fantastic speed in that Lazy Man Racing prototype.
Yes, it looks like the gap's just sort of ebbing and flowing a little bit as they head down now into the chicane.
He's blown an engine!
Gone!
No way! Mitchell Abrahall's blown an engine under brakes into that final chicane. I have heard drivers talking about how easy it is to blow engines in these prototypes.
It looks like we're bringing the replay up on now on screen, and just as he's pulling through the gears, I mean, if you don't match the revs or maybe click the gear down 1 second too early, it'll overrev the engine, unfortunately just try and destroy the bottom end of these cars.
Yeah, these are very fragile engines for some reason. We don't really see many engine blow-ups in the V8 Supercar. However, in these prototypes you tend to see it fairly often. As Corey Osborne's actually DNF from the race as well, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to him. We'll go back through and have a look. He's had a moment with Robert Hartley by the looks of it coming. Oh no, Steve Vainus. Just a little bit of contact for Corey Osborne with Vainus, and it's ended up putting Corey Osborne hard into a tyre wall, so disappointing for Corey Osborne.
Try and get the replay up on that one. Oh yeah, he's embedded deep into the tyre wall. Yes. Looks like we've got, may not have that on the screen for you guys, but what happened is, it's up actually on screen now. Looks like Venus just put it up the inside there, and Corey maybe didn't give enough room or didn't see Venus coming, and unfortunately a little bit of contact ended in Corey Osborne shooting off into the tyre barrier. Probably at the speed he hit those tyres too, massive damage. Massive damage for that McLaren. One lap later, looks like Venus has lost a bit of time to Rob Hartley. Hartley all over the back of him now.
Yeah, Venus may actually have damage from that. It was only a slight bit of contact, but these prototypes are extremely fragile to small amounts of contact. So Rob Hartley's definitely closed in the margin on Venus. Got Kernich just up the road there as well in 4th place, also dropping time to both these guys. So possibly a 4th place on the cards for Venus and Hartley if they can catch him.
Looks like a little bit of a driver error. We're hearing reports now from Goodsall, Brian Goodsall. Looks like wasn't quite paying enough attention and paid the price.
Yeah, we spoke about possibly it being a computer drama of some kind, a bit of a mechanical failure, but turns out just not quite concentrating, grabbed the drink there on the back straight and ended up hitting the concrete. So, you know, I think that kind of things definitely happen to all of us, and you got to be careful of that.
Yeah, guilty as charged there, Madison. For sure. This battle for 4th place in the prototypes is great to watch. Good driving from all the guys involved. I mean, it does look like a little bit of a gap. Oh, as Hartley, tremendous game through that left-hander going up onto that little short straight.
Close the gap right up. This is where he needs to be closed. He's got to get a good run off this slow right-hander here onto the back straight. Looks like he has. Just needs to try and close up. possibly have a look into the braking zone down at the end of this straight as Vayner slightly just swerves just a tad there. We'll really see this draft advantage as we get to the end of this straight. Reels him in. Vayner's good under brakes though, makes up all that time back.
There's such a different line through the S's as Harley all over the back. One thing we didn't see is Harley did.
That was close.
A little bit of braille on the back of the car there, just letting Steve Vayner know that he is there.
Wow, that was close. He was definitely had a big advantage off that chicane. He definitely went in slow, but came out fast. And
looks like
Vayner's starting to feel the pressure from Hartley. He's starting to make a few mistakes as Hartley takes a lot of curb going down through the S's.
Oh, taking a bit of the curb. I mean, these cars do not like the curbs. They're so tightly sprung that you touch the curbs and the cars bounce all over the place. So it'll be interesting to see. Is Harley very, very loose. Hopefully he gets a decent drive out of this. Action aplenty from these two drivers. Looks like last time by, Dylan Sharma stopped the clock at 42 minutes 25. So only 7.5 minutes to go in the race.
Yeah, so much for not having a good race car, Dylan Sharman. He's got a 16-second gap to Chris Osborne. I don't know what he was worried about. He's got plenty of pace, so continually opening that margin, driving brilliantly out in front at the moment is Dylan Sharman in that TTL prototype.
Christian Arwood, very loose coming onto the main straight. Sorry to cut you off there, Madison, but right in front of Kernich and Steve Vayner. Just puts a wheel on the grass there and heart and mouth stuff there for the Daytona prototypes and obviously for Christian Arwood as well. Oh, it looks like we've got Steve Vayner off in the grass at the top of the hill. Hartley pulls up beside him. If he can get this move done as Gonzalez now over the back. Oh, we've got Vayner in the grass. It's gone absolutely crazy. 3 cars all line astern. Yeah, absolute craziness going over the top of the hill.
Gonzalez has definitely got a bit of a run on Hartley on this back straight now. Hartley just covers slightly into the braking zone. Vayner's closed up a bunch of ground on the brakes then. We've seen how good he is on the brakes into that chicane. Nearly drilled the back of Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's definitely his skills definitely in the braking area there for sure. So got to be careful though when you're pulling up behind someone that you don't make a little bit of a tap. Hey, very aggressive driving from Vayner. So I mean, last time by, Dylan stopped the clock at 43 minutes 39. So only 6 minutes to go now in this race. So these guys want to get a job done now. If they want to gain the position, they need to do it now. Time really running out for these drivers. One guy we haven't mentioned recently is Matthew Barron, Madison, making a really good gap now, out to 15 seconds on Kernich, so making the best of his pace there for sure.
Yeah, his pace is pretty decent actually. He's managed to hold his ground, and he's showing that he should be in position 3, and he hasn't just fluked it. So he's doing a great job there, and as we said, coming from 7th place, it's a fairly decent gain.
As we look back now, Steve Vayner around the outside of Fabio Gonzalez, and looks like he may.
He's going to get it.
Done.
Wow, what a move!
Wow, that takes some serious bravery going around the outside through that chicane and over the crest of the hill. So great driving from Steve and good respect there from Fabio Gonzalez.
That's let Rob Hartley get away just a little bit slightly down the road though. Steve Vayner is going to be pretty keen to close that gap back up after that mistake that he made a few laps ago.
Looks like Rob Hartley's going to be a little bit held up by our McLaren leader.
Yeah, Craig Hunter gives him some space into the next corner though, which is Great driving from him, and we haven't spoken too much about Craig Hunter. He's just done it relatively easy from where we've sat all race. He's, you know, put the car in pole position and hasn't looked back.
That's right. He must have an absolutely sensational setup on that overclock was McLaren. Absolutely dominating the field here at Road Atlanta. And looks like the race time now on screen has finished. Oh, looks like we've got...
There's a car off at the chicane.
Yeah,
Leo Gray.
Yeah. As I was trying to say, guys, it looks like the the time on screen has ended, race time. And but there still is another 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, Leo Gray's just...
updated.
as we look at a replay now of Gray, he's just dropped the wheel off just slightly, and the car's just completely deviated its line and sent him across the grass at very high speed. Very lucky he didn't nail a car in front of him then.
I just can't keep my eyes off Rob Hartley at the moment, driving the wheels off this prototype. He's pulled right up onto the back of Anthony Kernich.
Although they've got McLaren to deal with at the moment, there's a fair bit of traffic here and it's holding Kernich and Hartley up, so it looks like they're probably going to clear them on the straight as they go on board with Robert Hartley. We see the McLarens everywhere. Kernich and Hartley thread the needle on the back straight. Whew.
Great driving from everybody involved there.
You see Hartley closing up on Kernich now. He's got a massive run on Kernich.
Yeah.
Will he have a look? Kernich covers. He's going to go the long way. He's going to do what Steve Vanus did.
Oh, as we speak of Steve Vanus, he's looking up the inside of Hartley, so 3-car battle now for 4th place in the prototypes. Oh, very loose.
Rob Hartley uses every bit of track there off the final corner.
Oh, Vanus, right up on the back of Hartley in the turn 1. Oh, incredibly close. Wow. May have some technical issues there with Madison Down's mic, but we'll... Oh, Vanus loose on the grass, losing a lot of time there to Hartley and Kernich. We can't keep my eyes off this battle. Dylan Sharma, 48 minutes, 39 seconds last time round, so this will be tight, but this could be the last time by. So if Hartley wants to get that 4th place, he needs to put the move on right now. So we'll be able to see very quickly. Trying to find Darman now on my screen. He has driven absolutely sensational this whole race. Absolute class of the field. So Dylan Sharman for his debut race in the Grand Am on the Thursday night. Brought to you by V8s Online. Absolutely showing the class. The turn of speed's incredible.
Yeah, we saw Dylan Sharman at Laguna Seca earlier in the season, but he was driving the McLaren, so it's debut in the prototype, and he's only done 2 races, and he's dominated both so far in the McLaren. He smashed them that night as well, so great driving from Dylan Sharman.
As he comes up over the crest of the hill now into the last corner, so we'll get to see if this is the last time by. It looks like they'll have one more lap. Well,
Kernich has got to slow down. Kernich has let Hartley go. I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but something's happened to Kernich. I don't know if he got to slow down or not, but is he out of fuel maybe?
Yeah, it looks like the case because I did a quick look through my screen and yeah, on board chat it looks like he's going to run out of fuel and maybe not finish this race. Devastating for Kernich. Steve Vanus though pulling right up on the back of Hartley. Oh, takes a lot of that chicane. It'll be interesting to see if he gets a slow down there or not.
As we look at Dylan Sharman now coming into the final chicane, he's driven brilliantly all night, put it on pole position by 4/10 of a second, and pretty much driven away from the field. Great drive from Dylan Sharman in the TTL prototype.
As he
crests the hill for a final time, comes down to the start-finish line. Cars jump out of his way for him. Dylan Sharman is going to take the win in Riley prototype class. Great drive.
Yeah, congratulations to Dylan Sharman, mate. Very, very smooth all race. Barely put a wheel out wrong at all. So well done for Dylan. Christopher Osborne coming over the crest of the hill now to take the final corner for second place. And Barron now cresting the hill. Oh, Hartley, massive damage to the back of the back of the prototype. It looks like he's run out of fuel.
Yeah, it looks like Hartley's actually had the same problem as Kernich. He's going to have to try and roll to the line. Wow. You can hear it just coughing down the back straight. He doesn't have enough fuel to get home.
Oh, that'd be absolutely devastating for Hartley. He's had such a great battle through the whole race. Hopefully he can get that across the line.
As Craig Hunter comes over the crest for the final time. Another great drive for him. He's going to take the win in McLaren class.
Yeah, great job from Craig Hunter. Really, really class drive, mate. Right from the start, just led it from start to finish. In second place, Christian Elwood. Trying to find him on my screen. Looks like he's already left the race, yeah.
Just looking back, and Dylan Sharman, prototype winner, is actually pushing Rob Hartley home. A few guys watching the race have pointed out that Dylan Sharman had such good speed all race long that he actually made the field do one more lap. So we talked about how fuel dependent these prototypes are for pace, and a lot of these prototypes have actually not quite put enough fuel in because normally they don't run that extra lap, and Dylan Sharman, being the class act of the field he was, made the field do an extra lap. So we see Kernich run out, Rob Hartley run out, so maybe they've just been tricked by the pace.
Yeah, the two TTL drivers. So great sportsmanship there from Dylan Sharma, help pushing Rob Hartley across the line. Wow, what a race. Always had a battle on screen, guys. I hope you had as much fun watching as what we had calling on it. Yeah,
what a great race tonight. We saw obviously two of the class leaders dominate the field, but yeah, pretty cool. I figured we want to run through the results.
Yes, we got the results up on screen now. It looks like in the Daytona prototype, we've got Dylan Sharma taking the win by 17 seconds from Christopher Osborne. Third place, Matthew Barron. Steve Vanos in fourth, taking a great fourth position there in the end. Rob Hartley finishing one lap down, running out of fuel, finishing fifth. Anthony Kernich in sixth, Fabio Gonzalez in seventh. And then we've got Jason Scully finished 4 laps down, Mitch Abraham 11 laps down, and John Emerson 22 laps down.
Yeah, and in McLaren class, Craig Hunter dominated the field, won the race comfortably in that overclockers car. Christian Aylward for ANZ Motorsport second, Tom Berenson third, Andrew Wren fourth, Nathan Grouden fifth, Leo Gray sixth, Brian Godsall seventh, Corey Osborne eighth, Paul Mantle ninth, and Tony Autridge in the final position there after that early accident.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed our first series broadcast of the Grand Am on Thursday nights, the Australia-New Zealand split. It's been a new addition to us, and hopefully we've got some more additions next year, maybe a little bit next season. Sorry, I keep saying year. I don't know what's going inside my head at the moment. It's all over the shop. But next season, hopefully we'll get a little bit more information for you as the core group of guys build. So we'll have more regulars, we'll have high quality drivers coming in. And as we saw tonight, I mean, they really do make a debut and make a huge splash. Guys like Dylan Sharman.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dylan Sharman jumped in this week and did a great job. And at Barber, we saw Kimmo Suominen have a run, and he did a great job as well with that fantastic battle with Rens Brookman. So it's great seeing some new names, new faces, new cars, and all of that in V8's Online's broadcast. It's been a great season to watch.
It's very exciting for us as well as we get more views with the we get more views with the Twitch program that we use. It's great to have everybody on board watching this live. So thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget, on Monday night we've got the final round of on the Monday night Australia-New Zealand V8 Supercar Championship. Madison Down leading the way at the moment, but there's, as he said before, there's 2 or 3 cars in on the shot at the title.
Yeah, Monday night should be pretty exciting. Justin Ruggier is definitely going to be looking for his first championship to take away from me on Monday night, and Josh Muggleton, a little bit of an outside chance if he can get his computer fixed for the final round, but he's also in with a shot. So there's three cars in with a shot at winning the V8 Supercars Online Series this season. So yeah, catch all the action from Suzuka on Monday night.
Don't forget, guys, to tune in a little bit earlier. So from 7:20 p.m. on Monday night, you'll get to have a little bit of a gift that the guys have done for you, the loyal viewers. So we've also got the Race to Reality on Wednesday night, hopefully picking up again next week. And week 13, as we all know, being iRacing fans, is Race of Champions week. We've got 5 cars now being released by Direct Clutch Motorsports. We've got the V8 Supercar, which I know that yourself, Madison, will be excited about. The Monte Carlo SS, the Ford GT, the Radical SR8, and also I can't remember what the last car is. There, of course, the Star Mazda. How can I forget that one? It's very much a crowd favourite. High downforce, lots of power, great fun to drive. But as we're aware, there's two races on the Sunday night and 2 races on the Monday night. So that means one of those 5 cars won't be used. They will be a mole as such. So tune in 2 weekends' time to hopefully see yourself, Madison, and also me. I'll be joining it for the first time out on track.
Yeah, it's a great event, and Chris Tarrant at Direct Clutch Motorsport always does a great job putting it on. It's always a lot of fun for all the guys who race in the different V8s Online Series to have a crack at. And this season, we've got a lot of people donating to the Cancer Council charity as well. So it's great to see this event being used for the for the good of those unfortunate diseases and stuff like that around the world that people are affected by.
That's right, guys. If you do want to donate, and we obviously recommend that you do, just go to the V8s Online Facebook page, which is facebook.com/V8s Online. Follow the link that we've got there. It looks like it's got 3 colourful the boomerangs, which is actually the Cancer Council's logo. Click on that logo, it'll direct you to a page where you can donate some money. So no donation's too small or too big. So dig deep, guys. It's cancers are something, unfortunately, that touches everybody, so it's important that we get as much money generated as possible to help out cancer victims. Guys, we really appreciate you watching our live broadcast tonight. You've been watching the V8s Online's live broadcast of the Australia-New Zealand Grand Am Championship, completing this series. Brought to you by V8s Online Superstore, Direct Clutch Services, V8 Supercar Fan Group. I'm Matthew Hill. Thank you very much for joining us, Madison Down, for this final round.
Yeah, no worries, Hilly. It's always great to be here. We saw a great final round tonight to wrap up a fantastic season, and hope to see you all tuning in again next season.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. And obviously our main sponsor, which I will not forget to mention, absolutely not, is Track Racer, a functional work of art. So guys, check out their webpage. They're a great bit of kit. So yeah, go have a look at the Track Racer website. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and I'm Matthew Hill signing out.